My father knocked on my door after 10 years of silence, holding a brown envelope like it was a court order. He did not hug me. He did not ask about my husband. He did not ask the names of my children, even though their faces were framed right behind me in the hallway. He just stepped onto my porch, looked past my shoulder into my house, and said, "Your family needs you now." Then he handed me the envelope. Inside was not a letter. It was a payment plan. 7 pages. Funeral debt, mortgage arrears, my sister's credit cards, my mother's medical bills, and a final line that said emergency family support, $6,000 a month. Total amount, $812,400. He came with a folder of what he wanted, but he did not know I had kept something too. 10 years of screenshots, returned letters, deleted invitations, voicemail recordings, and one message from my mother that changed my life forever. He had brought numbers. I had brought proof. My name is Elena Brooks. I am 34 years old, and for most of my adult life, I believed silence was the worst thing a family could do to you. I was wrong. The worst thing is when they finally break that silence only because your life has become useful to them. I grew up in Benton Ridge, Kentucky, a town small enough that everyone knew when your car was in the driveway and big enough that people still pretended not to stare. My father, Raymond Brooks, owned a small repair shop near the highway. My mother, Carol, worked part-time at the county office and full-time controlling everyone around her. My younger sister, Natalie, was the golden child before she could even spell the word golden. She got the dance classes, the birthday parties, the framed school photos on the living room wall. I got responsibility. I was a daughter who balanced a checkbook at 16. I cooked dinner when mom had headaches. I covered for Natalie when she skipped class. I told myself it meant they trusted me. Years later, I understood the truth. Some families call you reliable when what they mean is usable. When I left for college, my father drove me 3 hours to campus in his old pickup. He carried 1 box to my dorm, looked around the room, and said, "Do not forget where you came from." I promised I would not. I meant it. Back then, I still believed home was a place waiting for me. Then, I met Daniel. Daniel Reyes was calm in a way I had never seen before. He did not raise his voice to win arguments. He did not make jokes at other people's expense. He listened like listening was an act of respect, not a pause before speaking. His parents had moved from New Mexico to Ohio when he was a child. His mother was a nurse. His father drove trucks. Daniel was studying data security, and I was studying finance. We met because I dropped my calculator outside a lecture hall, and he chased me across campus to return it. We dated quietly for 2 years. No drama, no big movie moment, just coffee, exams, cheap dinners, and the feeling that my nervous system could finally rest around another person. When I brought him home for Thanksgiving, my mother smiled at him like a woman greeting a guest she already planned to criticize later. My father shook his hand but did not invite him to sit near him. Natalie asked Daniel if his family celebrated normal holidays. I laughed because I thought she was joking. She was not. After dinner, my mother pulled me into the laundry room and whispered, "You are making things difficult for everyone." I asked what she meant. She folded a towel slowly and said, "People here notice things. Things." That was the word she chose for the man I loved. Daniel proposed in our apartment on a rainy Sunday morning. No crowd, no photographer, no expensive ring. He made pancakes, burned the first batch, and asked me to marry him while the smoke alarm was still chirping. I said yes so fast he laughed. I called my parents that night. My father answered. I told him I was engaged. The line went so quiet I thought the call had dropped. Then my mother picked up another phone in the house and said, "Elena, do not embarrass this family. Not congratulations. Not when is the wedding. Not we are happy for you. Do not embarrass this family." 3 days later, an email arrived from my mother. It was short, neat, and cold. She wrote that if I married Daniel, I would be choosing a stranger over blood. She wrote that my father would not walk me down the aisle. She wrote that Natalie had cried because I was tearing the family apart. Then she ended with one sentence I still remember without opening the file. You may build your life with him, but do not expect us to stand inside it. I printed the email. I do not know why. Maybe some part of me already knew that one day they would deny saying it. Daniel and I married 6 weeks later at a small garden behind the courthouse. His parents came. 2 of my college friends came. My side of the family did not. I wore a cream dress from a clearance rack. Daniel wore a gray suit that was slightly too big in the shoulders. His mother pinned a tiny blue flower to my dress and told me, "You are not losing a family today. You are joining one that knows how to love you properly." I smiled when she said it, then cried in the bathroom for 7 minutes. A week after the wedding, I mailed my parents a photo of us. I wrote one line on the back, "I hope one day this does not hurt you more than it has hurt me." The envelope came back unopened. That was the first item I saved. At first, I did not call it evidence. I called it memory. I put the returned envelope in a clear plastic sleeve and tucked it into a storage box with old tax papers. Then came my birthday card, returned. Then Christmas, returned. Then Daniel's invitation to my father's retirement dinner, ignored. Then the baby announcement. Our daughter Maya was born 3 years into the silence. She had Daniel's dark hair and my serious eyes. I sent my parents one photo, just one. Maya wrapped in a yellow blanket, sleeping with her hand under her cheek, returned. When our son Noah was born 2 years later, I sent another photo, returned. But this one was different. The envelope had been opened. Someone had slit it carefully along the top, taken the picture out and put it back, then they mailed it back anyway. That night, I sat on the nursery floor with Noah asleep against my chest and Maya building a tower of blocks beside me. I looked at that open envelope until the paper blurred. Someone had seen my son's face and still chosen silence. That was when the storage box became an archive. I bought a black locking file case from an office supply store. Nothing dramatic. Just a plain case with metal corners and a tiny key. I labeled each item with a date, source, and note. Returned wedding photo, returned birthday card, opened birth announcement, mother's email, father's unanswered calls, sister's messages. Natalie was the careless one. She posted online constantly. Family dinners, holiday photos, captions like, "Nothing matters more than blood." One Christmas, she posted a picture of my parents sitting beside her daughter under a tree. The caption said, "The only grandbaby who keeps this house alive." A friend from high school sent it to me with no comment. I printed it, filed it, closed the case. Years passed. Daniel and I worked hard. Not inspirational movie hard, real hard. The kind where you forget to eat lunch and answer emails in the grocery line. He built a cybersecurity tool for small medical clinics after seeing how many local practices could not afford proper protection. I handled billing, contracts, projections, payroll, investor paperwork, and every spreadsheet that kept us alive. The company started in our second bedroom. Then it moved to a rented office above a dental clinic, then to a proper floor downtown. We grew slowly. Then suddenly, a regional hospital group signed a contract, then a national partner, then a private equity firm made an offer so large I thought someone had misplaced a decimal point. Daniel and I sold 60% of the company and stayed on as executives. Overnight, the business press started calling us founders. People who had ignored our emails years before now wanted lunch. Our house did not change much. Our children still went to the same school. Daniel still drove the same SUV with the cracked cup holder. But the numbers had changed, and that is when my family remembered I existed. First came Natalie. Her text arrived at 11:38 on a Tuesday morning. Hey stranger, been thinking about you. Miss my niece and nephew. My niece and nephew, children she had never met. I stared at the message for a long time, then put my phone down. She sent another one 2 days later. Mom and Dad are getting older. It would be nice if everyone could heal. Heal. Another convenient word. People love saying heal when they do not want to say apologize. I did not respond. Then a former classmate sent me screenshots from a local Facebook group. My mother had commented under a post about Daniel's company sale. We always knew Elena was talented. Family is so proud. Family is so proud. I laughed when I read it. Not because it was funny, because sometimes the lie is so bold, your body does not know whether to laugh or shake. Then came the phone calls. Unknown number. Father's old number. Natalie. Unknown again. I let them go to voicemail. My father left one message. Ellie, it is Dad. Saw the news. Your mother and I would like to talk. There are things we should discuss as a family. Call me. Ellie. He had not called me that since I was 19. Not when I got married, not when Maya was born, not when Noah was born. But after the sale, suddenly I was Ellie again. I saved the voicemail. 2 weeks later, Natalie asked to meet for coffee. I agreed because sometimes you need to see the storm before it reaches your house. We met at a busy cafe near my office. She arrived in a beige coat with sunglasses on her head and hugged me like we had spoken last week. She told me I looked amazing. She asked where we lived, whether the kids were in private school, how much of the company Daniel still owned, whether the sale money had already come through, and whether I had a financial advisor. She asked 26 questions. I counted. Not one was, "Are you okay?" When she left, I saw her pause near the window and take a photo of my car. That night, I opened the black file case and added a new note. Natalie contact after company sale, coffee meeting, financial questions only, no apology. Daniel watched me lock the case. He asked, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Nothing yet." He nodded. That was one of the reasons I loved him. He never rushed my pain into a decision. 3 weeks later, my father came to my door. He looked older than I expected, smaller too. His hair had thinned, and his hands shook slightly when he lifted the brown envelope. But his eyes still moved around my porch the same way they used to move around my report cards, searching for value. I opened the door. "Elena," he said. "Dad." He looked behind me into the hallway, at the family photos on the wall, Daniel holding Maya at the beach, Noah missing his front teeth. The four of us in matching rain jackets during a camping trip. My father's eyes rested on the children's faces for half a second, then moved to the staircase, the chandelier, the hardwood floors. He was not seeing my life, he was estimating it. "Can I come in?" he asked. I stepped aside. I led him to the dining table, not the living room. The living room was comfortable. The dining table was honest. He sat down, placed the envelope in front of him, and folded his hands. "We have lost a lot of time," he began. I said nothing. "Your mother has been under stress. Natalie too. Things have been hard back home. And now that you and Daniel are in a better position, we thought maybe it was time to talk like family." Like family. He opened the envelope and pulled out 7 pages. Printed spreadsheets, highlighted totals, notes in my mother's handwriting. He slid them across the table. My parents' mortgage, $164,000. Natalie's credit card consolidation, $93,000. Medical bills, $41,000. Home repairs, $58,000. College account for Natalie's daughter, $150,000. Retirement support, $300,000. Monthly family assistance, $6,000. Total, $812,400. I read every line slowly. Then I looked at him. "Did Mom make this?" He cleared his throat. "We all discussed it. Of course." His face tightened. "Elena, do not make this ugly." That almost made me smile. I stood up and walked to my office. The black case was in the bottom cabinet, behind tax returns and old school drawings. I unlocked it, carried it back, and placed it beside his envelope. My father looked at it. "What is that?" "You brought your records," I said. "I brought mine." He shifted in his chair. "I do not understand." "You will." I opened the case. The first thing I placed on the table was my mother's email from 10 years earlier. I did not summarize it. I read the final sentence out loud. "You may build your life with him, but do not expect us to stand inside it." My father looked down. Then I placed the returned wedding photo beside it. Wedding photo, mailed June 18, returned June 29, unopened, then the birthday card, returned, then Christmas, returned, then Maya's birth announcement, returned, then Noah's birth announcement, the one with the slit envelope. "This one was opened," I said. Someone saw his photo and sent it back anyway. My father's jaw moved, but no words came out. I kept going. I placed screenshots on the table. Natalie's caption about the only grandbaby. My mother's comment about being proud after the company sale. Natalie's text saying she missed children whose birthdays she did not know. My father's voicemail after the news article. Then I placed a page in front of him with 2 columns. I had made it the night before because I knew this day was coming. Left column, years of silence. Right column, contact after money. Wedding, no call. Maya born, no call. Noah born, no call. Daniel's first office, no call. Company sale announced, 5 calls, 3 texts, 1 visit, 1 payment plan. My father stared at the page. I said, "The pattern is very clear." He whispered, "Your mother was hurt." "No," I said. "She was proud." "There is a difference." His eyes lifted. I kept my voice calm. His anger would have helped him dismiss me. Facts would not. "You were my father. You could have called. You could have visited. You could have sent 1 birthday card to your grandchildren. You could have said, 'I disagree with your mother, but I love you.' You did not." His face folded slightly. For a moment, I saw shame. Real shame. Then he reached for the old family excuse. "You know how your mother is." I leaned back. "Yes, and I know how you are. She closes doors, you stand beside her and lock them." That landed harder than I expected. He looked away. The front door opened, and Daniel came in with Noah's soccer bag over his shoulder. He stopped when he saw my father. Then he looked at the papers on the table and understood everything. He did not argue. He did not perform. He walked over, set the bag down, and stood beside me. My father looked at him for the first time like he was a person, not a problem. Daniel said, "Raymond." My father nodded once. "Daniel, 10 years too late." I picked up the payment plan and slid it back across the table. "I am not paying this." My father's eyes hardened. "After everything we did for you, you raised me," I said. "That was not a loan." He opened his mouth, but I continued. "You do not get to disappear during the hard years and return for the profitable ones. You do not get to reject my husband, ignore my children, let my mother rewrite the story, and then sit at my table with an invoice." His hands trembled on top of the papers. I softened my voice, but not my boundary. "If you want to know Maya and Noah, that starts with honesty. Not money. Not a family meeting. Not mom's spreadsheet. Honesty. You tell them you were absent because you chose comfort over courage. You tell them their father did nothing wrong. You tell them their mother kept trying until she had no reason left to try." He swallowed, "And if you cannot say that, then you are not ready to meet them." For the first time since he arrived, my father looked toward the hallway photos again. Really looked. Maya with paint on her cheeks. Noah holding a science fair ribbon. Daniel and me laughing in the rain. I think he understood then. Not everything, but enough. He gathered the papers slowly. The brown envelope bent at the corner when he pushed them inside. "Your mother will not accept this," he said. "I know." Natalie will say, "You changed." I did. He stood. At the door, he paused and turned back. His voice was lower. I did open the photo. I already knew, but hearing it still hurt. "Noah's?" I asked. He nodded. "I wanted to keep it. Your mother said it would only make things worse." I looked at him for a long moment. "You let her decide whether loving your grandson would make things worse?" His eyes filled, but I did not rescue him from the sentence. He left without hugging me. The door closed quietly. That night, after the kids were asleep, Daniel found me sitting at the dining table with the black case still open. He placed a cup of tea beside me. "You okay?" he asked. "No," I said, "but I am clear." 2 days later, Natalie texted, "You could have helped. You just wanted revenge." I did not answer. Some people call boundaries revenge because they were counting on your guilt. My mother never called, not once. She sent one message through my father. "Your mother says she is not ready to be attacked." That told me everything. 6 weeks later, my father called again. This time, no spreadsheet, no envelope, no family emergency. Just his voice. "Elena, I am sorry. I should have been your father even when it was difficult. I was a coward. I would like to earn a phone call with the kids someday. I know I do not deserve it yet." I sat quietly for a long time. Then I said, "We start with one call between you and me. No money, no mom, no Natalie, just truth." He agreed. That was not forgiveness. Not yet, maybe not ever, but it was the first honest thing he had said in 10 years. The black case is still in my office. I have not added to it since that day. I hope I never have to. Here is what I learned. Family is not the people who remember you when your life becomes impressive. Family is the people who showed up when your apartment was small, your babies were crying, your business was failing, and there was nothing to gain except loving you. Daniel's mother was there. My friends were there. My children were there. My husband was there. My family did not disappear. I just stopped confusing relatives with family. And when my father came to my door with an $812,400 envelope, I finally understood something that set me free. The people who only arrive after the money were never coming for you. They were coming for the number attached to your name.